Hello my amazing friends, welcome to new English episode. In today's episode we dive with wonderful story of Malala Yousafzai. What happens when a young girl, born in one of the most dangerous places for women's rights, dares to speak up? Not in anger, not in fear, but in clear, powerful English so the world could not look away. This is the story of Malala Yousafzai, a girl who turned her English voice into a global megaphone for girls' education. It is a story of courage, clarity, and conviction, and it is proof that even the smallest voice, when raised with truth, can shake nations. Malala was born in 1997 in the Swat Valley of Pakistan, a place of natural beauty but brutal realities. As the Taliban's influence grew in her region, girls were banned from going to school. Books were burned. School buildings were bombed. Teachers threatened. Imagine being 11 years old and being told that learning is a crime. Most stayed quiet. But not Malala. Why? Because her father, a teacher himself, taught her that education is power, and that language is the first step to freedom. So she started to speak at just 11. Malala began writing a blog for the BBC in Urdu, using a pseudonym. She described life under the Taliban, how girls hid their school uniforms under shawls, how she feared being silenced, but never stopped learning. Soon, her courage caught global attention. Journalists came. Cameras rolled. And Malala did something extraordinary. She switched to English, not to sound sophisticated but to be heard by the world. Her voice was young, soft, but her words, they were fire. I have the right to education. I have the right to play. I have the right to sing. I have the right to go to the market. Every sentence was simple, clear, undeniable. On October 9, 2012, Malala was shot in the head by a Taliban gunman on her school bus. They thought a bullet could quiet her forever. But they were wrong. She survived. And when she opened her eyes in a hospital in Birmingham, England, she didn't just recover. She rose, with more strength, with more clarity, and with even more English to reach the world that had now begun to listen. Just 9 months after the shooting, Malala stood before the United Nations on her 16th birthday. The world watched. A girl once left for dead now stood in front of presidents, diplomats, world leaders, and she said, "One child, one teacher, one book, one pen, can change the world." It wasn't a complicated speech. It wasn't filled with academic words or fancy metaphors. It was clear, direct, emotional, honest. That's what made it powerful. Malala didn't just speak English that day. She spoke truth, and truth, when spoken clearly, can't be ignored. Since then, Malala has become the youngest Nobel Peace Prize laureate in history. She studied at Oxford University, became a global education activist, and founded the Malala Fund to support girls' education around the world. But do you know what stayed consistent? Her message, her language, her belief that education is a basic right, not a luxury, and her use of simple, powerful English to reach every corner of the globe, from refugee camps in Jordan, to classrooms in Nigeria, to conferences in New York. Malala's voice continues to echo. You may not face what Malala faced. You may never be threatened for wanting to learn. But maybe you felt small. Maybe you thought your English wasn't good enough. Maybe you've been afraid to speak up. Let Malala remind you, do not wait for someone else to come and speak for you. It's you who can change the world. So learn English not to sound fancy. Learn it to stand tall. Tell your story. Fight for what's right. Even if your voice shakes, use it. Even if the world doubts you, speak anyway, because your voice can do more than you imagine. Listen to Malala's speeches, not just once, many times. Read her words. Practice speaking yours. And when you're ready, stand up for something that matters. Because if Malala can rise from silence to change the world, so can you. So, if it was helpful for you, kindly like, subscribe, and leave comments below. And don't forget to share with your friends, because every day I will share a new story.